Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. So this time, we'll just take a look at a random batch of Bronze Age Marvel Comics. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? Of course, the Bronze Age, of course, all these things vary, around 1970 to approximately 1986. There's always some fudge factor and overlap in there. So, we start here with this one, Marvel's Greatest Comics, featuring the Fantastic Four. This is number 31 of Marvel's Greatest Comics, double feature special. This is the Fantastic Four, The Battle of the Baxter Building, co-starring Doctor Doom and the man called Daredevil. And here we have, it's actually reprinting, this is from 1971, and it's reprinting 2 issues of the Fantastic Four from the 60s, it's from the Silver Age, and also a story, I think it's probably, it doesn't say, from Tales of Suspense. Was that what it was? I don't remember. Featuring the Thing and the Torch and Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. And of course the whole thing is drawn by Jack Kirby. It is all Lee and Kirby. See, with inks by Frank Giacoia. Is it the Blind Man? Oh yeah. And something happens. Oh yeah. Coming on the tail end of another one. And this is when Ben Grimm is Ben Grimm. The Seahawk. Lost at Sea. Oh, here's one of Kirby's famous collages, as he was wont to do, especially in Fantastic Four, and then later in also, as I showed one not too long ago, in Jimmy Olsen, etc. And then while they seem to be out of commission, they have make stuff to kind of more or less duplicate their powers. Oh, and then they're up against Doctor Doom, of course, with assistance by by Daredevil. But of course, this was done at the time that Wally Wood was doing the art on Daredevil. And though while the figures are drawn by Jack Kirby, it looks as if Wally Wood did the inks on the Daredevil figure, or at the very least on his face, to make him look like he does over in the Daredevil title. Oh, all kinds of thrilling stuff. Lots of action, gizmos. A thrill a minute. Then is, come on, I'll find it. Here it is. Our Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch up against the Human Torch and the ever-loving Blue-Eyed Thing. But this one is drawn by Dick Ayers. This story is drawn by Dick Ayers. Still has the inks by Frank Giacoia, however. And he was, Dick Ayers was very much doing it in a more or less Kirby-ish style or technique. Then this is also from 1971. The Invincible Iron Man, number 44. The Night Phantom Lives. Great Gil Kane cover. It's funny how every time it's like Jack Kirby or Gil Kane and a few others, it's the great, the great Gil Kane. But the interior art is by George Tuska, and I was surprised when I saw that Robert Kanigher was the writer, because he's primarily known for his work at DC, primarily the war stories and Wonder Woman of the 50s and 60s, early 60s. And it features Captain America in here because it deals with Avengers. And, oh, here's Iron Man come crashing through the wall. Some kind of android being. Oh. All great stuff. All great stuff. Oh. And that's it. Oh, and then it's backed up. I didn't know that. With an Ant-Man story. Roy Thomas and Ross Andru. It's kind of good that we're talking about Ant-Man here because that's next. Ant-Man, number 5. Actually, it's Marvel Feature presents The Astonishing Ant-Man, number 5. This is from 73, I think it was. It says, Egghead plays for keeps. You fouled up my plans a million times, Pym, but no more. No more. Ooh, this is a Herb Trimpe cover, and he did the interior art. Fears the way he dies. Mike Friedrich wrote it. Some Herb Trimpe art. I like his work. Really like his work on the Hulk. This is a fine job too. It's just a little clunky, but it's great. This was a time when Ant-Man was stuck in his reduced state, and it's basically playing the Incredible Shrinking Man. Which basically was what the Ant-Man started out as a copy of the Incredible Shrinking Man in one of the horror stories. Up against the genius Egghead. Ooh, as somewhere along the line he makes friends with this young lady who, when his own Ant-Man costume gets torn up, she uses some fabric and makes him some doll-sized clothes to wear, which, as I recall, covers him for several issues. More thrilling. I haven't read these in probably decades, most of them. Then we have Marvel 2-in-1, number 1. It presents The Thing and the Man-Thing. Monster versus monster while a world trembles. Ooh, another. Is this? I think this is a Gil Kane cover. It's hard to tell. But it is Gil Kane doing the interior. With Joe Sinnott as the inker. Vengeance of the Molecule Man. And the Thing's doing something in Florida, and he is ticked off when he sees this is when Man-Thing was new. This is from 73. Yeah, it's from 73. When has flashbacks to his encounters with the Hulk and with Iron Man, etc. And he is upset when he sees something in the paper about Man-Thing. He says, somebody swiping my name. Then we get some of the backstory here. And here he is against the Molecule Man. And somewhere along in here, too many ads. Every other page is a pair of ads. Yeah, it's got Man-Thing, and then they haven't met up yet, but they meet up. Yeah. Here they meet up here, and Molecule Man, he transforms them back into their original forms of Ben Grimm and I can't remember Man-Thing's name. Ted Sallis, that's it, Ted Sallis. All I could come up with. Oh, and now I've even forgotten that. Initially, I was coming up with Alec Holland from Swamp Thing. Oh, and then yeah, there we go. But they complete it in the end, and they're back in their forms. And he's trying. Then Ben Grimm picks up the wand and he turned to ash, and he's trying to use that wand to turn himself back into Ben Grimm, but it didn't work. Then we have, this is from, what was it, 74, 75, 73, still 73. Prince Namor, the Savage Submariner, number 65. No matter what the cost, no matter what the threat, I will not raise my hand against a woman. Then you are doomed, Namor, for I am the She-Devil. Boy, they used She-Devil for a lot of things. This is still 73. The Cry of the She-Beast. Namor in Chains. Don Heck and Don Perlin doing the inks. Written by Steve Gerber. And it has I would think that Don Perlin's style would show through more, but in his inks, but he is looks more like Don Heck's own scratchiness in his like in his pencils and stuff. But still a fine thriller. The Return of Killer Whale next time. Ooh. Oh yeah, and this is neat. If I can get the pages open. They had a few. Back then they had a few of these. Which is Tales of Atlantis, the saga of Submariner's mighty realm. The lurker in the ruins. And of course this is in ancient times after Atlantis sank and the inhabitants were turned into mermen. Merpeople. And they're finding the ruins of Atlantis and of the city and stuff here. I know some really nice stuff. Jim Mooney is the artist, and again Steve Gerber is the writer. And it's some basic sword and sorcery type stuff fitting in with their superhero legends. And then here is a page for In Memoriam of Bill Everett. So this is just after Submariner creator Bill Everett died, 1973. Then we go to The Mighty Thor, starring in Marvel Spectacular. Ooh. Gotta wet my whistle. This is number 16. This is from 75. Yes, 1975. Jack Kirby. Odin, my father, why have you forsaken me? Abandoned on earth. Can this be the end of the god of thunder? And of course, this is actually reprinted from Thor number 145 from some years before, from the previous decade. And the opera here really fits with this particular title because this is from, well, it's Wagner. And here we have Thor. And of course, drawn by Jack Kirby. Lee and Kirby with Vince Colletta doing the inks. Now this is where for some reason I like Vinny Coletta's inks. Of course, sometimes his stuff is real good anyway. But a lot of people don't like Vince Coletta's inks. But I happen to like Vince Coletta's inks on the Thor title. I think it really helps smooth out and kind of prettify Kirby's blocky figures. It's not always the case, though. And that's a lot of fun. Okay, then we go to this one was it 77 or 78? Doctor Strange, number 17. I just did Doctor Strange not too long ago. This is number 78 from 76. Utopia Rising. This is Gene Colan cover, and Gene Colan does the interior art. Some great stuff. And see if I can... Yes, written by Steve Englehart. Gene Colan is the penciler, or the art. Pencil art, Tom Palmer is the inker. As they begin the newest saga of the sorcerer Doctor Strange, Utopia Rising. And this has, well, of course, this has Clea. It's some really lovely artwork, interesting story, and they wind up having some kind of time travel in here, but okay. As Tom Palmer just does some really lovely stuff on Gene Colan's great pencils. And I think that works so well together. And here they have some time travel, way back when, to the time of the Musketeers, etc. Drawn swords. Looks like a fun yarn. I haven't read it in ages, so I bet it is. Yep, it sure looks like a fun yarn. Then we go to Howard the Duck, number 29. And this was 77? 78. 1978, Trapped in a World He Never Made. Howard the Duck. Since we just had Gene Colan did the cover here. And remember, all this time, he was also right through here. About this time, he was also doing Tomb of Dracula as well, which is probably his magnum opus. And I like Gene Colan the whole way through his career that I have seen. I really like his stuff at Archie Comics, especially the Jughead. It works so well in his later years. Help stamp out ducks. But the end, of course, written by Steve Gerber. Mark Evanier did the plot. But it's drawn by Will Munoz. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. It looks French, so... And of course, Howard the Duck. I'm a big Howard the Duck fan. It's very well drawn, and looks like and all of the Steve Gerber Howard the Duck stuff was well written. It just his Howard doesn't look nearly as well as Gene Colan's or Frank Bruner and the others, but it works. But he is a fine artist, and it works perfectly well. I'm a big fan of Howard the Duck. Then we have The Invaders. I'm taking a lot longer than I intended. The greatest superheroes of World War II. The Invaders, number 37. The New Battle of the Pacific. Guest starring by popular request, who I'm sure no one actually did, the Liberty Legion in pitched battle with Iron Cross, the super soldier who may just destroy them all. And so this has the Liberty Legion, who is another World War II character. This is written by Don Glut, which is kind of surprising. And I've talked about Don Glut so many times for his Gold Key comics, Dagar, Dr. Spectre, etc. And it's drawn by Alan Kuperberg and Rick Hoberg. The Liberty Legion busts loose. And it got so many characters. It's hard to get a good view of any one single character in here. So much going on. Probably the single best view of any of these characters that I get is a couple of quick shots. Well, there's some good ones of the Submariner, but aside from that, it's probably the Red Raven. You get to see the best Red Raven the best. Sounds pretty decent. Good World War II action with a superhero flair. Then we're going to finish up with this $1 special. It's the 20th anniversary of the fabulous Fantastic Four number 236 from 1981. 20 years after the Fantastic Four was introduced. And look at all the people on this cover. It's done by John Byrne, and inks by Terry Austin. And the same goes for the interior. No, it doesn't. No. It's just John Byrne doing the art. And of course, he wrote it as well. And he's up against, they're up against, it's some flashbacky stuff. Well, we don't know what's going on. It turns out they were prisoners of Dr. Doom. Come on, where's that page? A classic, a great page. Here we go. Double page spread. Dr. Doom looming over the town. What is it? What's going on? No, they are... Yes, it is Dr. Doom. The Fantastic Four are his prisoners. But they have been cloned and their minds are inside these miniature clones of themselves in this miniature town. Oh my gosh. Some weird... But I'll bet the cover to this issue was the inspiration for that double page spread. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, and they fight. It's a long storyline. And then it's, for a backup, it has the challenge of Dr. Doom. And this is based on I guess it was the pilot episode of one version of the Fantastic Four in animation form. The one that had Herbie the robot when they didn't have the Human Torch. But it's based on the storyboards drawn by Jack Kirby. And this really ticked Kirby off because they used his art from one project and used it in another project for something entirely different and did not pay him for it. And he was not happy. And that is understandable. So that is what we've got this time around with a few of the classic Bronze Age Marvel Comics superheroes. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Tell me which of these titles you like best. And some of these we may be seeing again in a deeper dive. I don't know. Boy, that took a lot longer on this than I had intended. So thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. And remember, comics are art.